Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with Rethink Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 111. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at Rethink Coaching, and as always, I'm going to start by thanking you for sharing your time with me. Time truly is our greatest asset, and the mere fact that you're willing to share your time with me truly does mean a great deal. So welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast. Today, I want to share with you an experience that I've had over the last couple of weeks. I went on a 9-day business trip, and it's the longest trip I've taken in years. I honestly can't remember the last time I did it. And it was full of opportunity. It's why I did it, right? It was opportunity for me to share knowledge with people. It was an opportunity for me to be part of something. And I had a moment where I realized that one of the best gifts I can give to you, whether you're a leader of a team or a leader of your business or just a leader in life, is the reminder of the power of we. So often as a coach, I forget about that. And I find myself in the front of the room a lot, meaning I'm presenting a lot, or I'm conducting a workshop or a mastermind, or I'm coaching with my one-on-one clients, or I'm coaching to my group clients. And it becomes the norm. And that is a lot of me from the front of the room and not a lot of we, meaning me being part of who is receiving and part of that community. And it really struck me this week that we haven't talked about this and how important it is that every leader needs a community, period. Every leader needs collaboration over isolation. It's really the hidden accelerator of growth. Every leader, when we lead together, if we don't, that's the missing ingredient to success. So I want to challenge your thoughts right now on maybe your definition of leadership. I believe we've been conditioned, myself included, to think that as leaders, right, we're the ones that other people turn to, not the one turning with others. All right. So for me this week, part of my long trip gone was I participated in a really powerful coaches retreat where I wasn't leading it. I was a participant, and I got to experience collaboration. I got to experience community. The host, we were at a gorgeous 450-acre ranch outside of Hillsboro, Texas, and it was amazingly peaceful. The environment was magical. But I realized this was one of the first times in a moment that I had been on the other side of things. I wasn't at the front of the room, and I was experiencing true collaboration. So the question I have for you to think about is, who are you collaborating with? Who do you get to be in the presence with and learn from and exchange ideas with? I'm hoping at a minimum you have a coach. And while I think that is incredibly important, I also think it's important to be part of a group. So more than just one person. And to really take a look at that, because leaders crave community by nature, right? A lot of us build community by building teams, by building businesses. I'm surrounded by an amazing team here at Rethink Coaching. And as a leader, I built that. And part of that is to fulfill the craving that I have for community. Yet a lot of times I find myself isolating under the weight of responsibility. That's not collaboration. I think it's really important for us to reframe that we don't have to be the one all the time that people turn to, that we can create the space for collaboration within our organization and be part of it, not necessarily leading it. So redefine what leadership means to you. You don't have to be the one carrying the weight all of the time. And if you are in your organization, or if you are part of your team, go be part of something. My experience, it was 48 hours of just an incredible experience of being part of something bigger than me, really was immeasurable. Number two, let's dispel the myth of the lone leader. Let's get rid of that, right? there's this culture of, I'll just handle it. And that belief of, I'll just handle it as a leader, doing it solo versus collaboration, leads to burnout. It leads to incredible blind spots and stagnation. I mean, if you're only collaborating with yourself, you're not likely to see your weaknesses. You're not likely to see the potential opportunities or dangers that are headed your way. You need to be with people that help you see and identify your blind spots. High achievers, often leaders, confuse independence with leadership. You don't have to be an independent leader. You can be a leader in a space of collaboration and community. Leadership isn't about being the strongest voice. It's about being connected to the right voices. Again, I go back to the retreat. It was just so empowering to be surrounded by 20 other coaches that were sharing information, that were sharing their voice, letting all of us hear what they were doing and creating that community and collaboration. You know, there's times when we don't pay attention to the warning signs. And I believe one of the things that we need to pay attention to as leaders when we're isolating ourselves in this I'll just handle it mentality is you're really selling your team short and you're really cutting off any kind of collaboration or community. I often hear the leaders that I coach and I'm questioning them on why they're still doing certain activities. Why are you still doing this? You shouldn't be doing this activity. It's not at highest and best use of your time. Why don't you have your admin? Why don't you have one of your directors? Why don't you have one of your managers doing this activity for you? And often I hear the response of, it's just easier for me to handle it myself versus taking the time to teach them and train them and help them figure it out. I can just get it done quicker. That's a lone leader mentality. That is going to cause a bottleneck in your organization because you're taken out of your zone of specialty leading. You're taking out of creating a bigger vision because you've chosen to be the lone leader who's going to handle it all on your own. Number 3, collaboration multiplies results. This is really important to hear. 2 aligned minds don't just add, they actually multiply. Think about that. Whenever I've been in a situation of collaboration, and for me, a lot of that's in masterminds or in the coaching programs I'm in at a high level, offer collaboration a couple times a month for the group of us to get together and to collaborate. And whenever 2 minds are gathered, it is a multiplication of results because we can bounce ideas off of each other. There's this compound effect of shared ideas. There's some level of accountability. And the thing that I love the most about a collaboration environment is that it actually helps your momentum. I've never left, I shouldn't say never, I have rarely left being part of a group where I'm collaborating and felt like I was zapped of my energy or it set me back in my momentum. Quite the opposite. I usually leave pretty fired up and excited about what I can do, things that I've learned, things that I never thought about, ways that can help me shorten my learning curve, things that I can do to propel my team forward. That collaboration of multiple minds together is a multiplier, not just an addition. Challenge your thinking regularly. That's what happens when you get into a group of people who are collaborating. Just this weekend, I shared a couple ideas. And what was so cool is coaches that were in the group were saying, oh my God, that's amazing. And have you thought about doing this along with it? Multiplying the results that I could get from the activity that I was doing over and over and over. They shed a different light on it. They saw an opportunity and they shared it with me. That is how I am able to change my thinking, by having other people review or assess what I'm doing. And that can only happen in a collaborative environment. It needs to be a safe space. It needs to be a space where you're open to feedback and you need to show up coachable and open to getting feedback. And just know that that collaboration is going to multiply your results big time. Number 4, there is a cost to isolation. And, connection versus isolation is so much more powerful. There's an emotional cost with isolation. There's a study that shows isolation is as dangerous to your health as smoking cigarettes every day. And I'm not criticizing if you're a smoker. I'm just saying this isolation can have a huge impact on your mindset, your physical well-being, and your progression forward in your business. Isolation actually will drain you faster because you're not having anybody put back in. It's like, your gas tank, right? If you don't refill it, you're going to run out. And having the ability to pull up to a gas station and refill your tank or a charging station and recharge is really similar to what it would look like if you stepped out of isolation and allowed other people to pour into you and to provide you with amazing, amazing ideas and enhancements to what you're currently doing. So if you're living as a leader in a place of isolation, stop it. You're really robbing yourself big time. Now I'm going to say this. Some people intentionally choose isolation because they don't want to expose themselves to others. I remember I did this early on when I was first a coach, and I worked for a company that was phenomenal about collaboration. And we'd be in an environment, and I enjoyed isolation a little bit more because I was in a room full of people that were way smarter than I was and better at the craft of coaching. So I would resist talking out loud. I would resist sharing an idea. I chose to stay in a place of isolation, even in a room full of people, because it felt safer to me than maybe saying something that would be viewed as a bad idea. And so just remember, you can be in a room full of people and still be isolated. It's a choice you have to make on how you're going to engage. Some people, like for me, going back to me being quiet in those rooms, I think I felt a little bit of imposter syndrome. Like I will never be as good as these coaches. And so I didn't want to expose myself. And that comes at a huge emotional cost. It caused a lot of stagnation because that belief of me being an imposter prevented me from even embracing the new ideas that I was being introduced to in a room full of collaborators. I know this to be true. The best leaders that I know don't do it alone. They all have a way that they collaborate and that they have community that they are immersed in that allows them to be bigger thinkers. Number 5, building your circle of growth. This is important. We've talked about the importance of the 5 people you surround yourself with. This is no different. You want to be around people who are collaborators, not judgers. All right. So you truly want to be in a room full of people who are going to challenge you, who are going to pose weaknesses to you and be that person that is willing to step up for your greatness and to share the opportunity with you. Being around people who are not just cheerleaders and who will challenge you is so important in terms of building your circle of growth. You do want to align with people that have the same values as you do and will help push you forward through your blind spots while being in alignment with your values. I have experienced this before where you're in a room full of people that are encouraging you, pointing at your blind spots and encouraging you to take action that is out of alignment with your values. And it's not about being right or wrong. It's just about being out of alignment, which can really harm your growth opportunity if you're not with people of the same value. And you want to be with some people that have already done what you've done at a higher level that you can learn from. There's an old saying, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. You want to be in a room mixed with people that are outperforming you and that really are willing to challenge you. I just love that. I worked for an organization and I believe it just came from a place of scarcity from the leader that they did not want to be challenged. You got ahead in the organization by being a yes person, that every idea they had was amazing, that everything they were doing was amazing. I called it their front row of bobbleheads. They would just shake their head. Yes. Oh my gosh, you're amazing. It's wonderful. And they did not ever challenge. So I just want you to be aware of create a circle of growth for yourself. And in that, make sure you have people who are willing to challenge you. Make sure that you have people that are in alignment with your values. So when they're pushing you or introducing you to new ideas and concepts, they're in alignment. You're not going to resist it or feel Like that would be a violation of your values. And that there are some people that are further ahead on their journey than you. It's a great, great circle of growth for you to build. Number 6, there's a difference, right? From networking to co-creating. There's a complete difference, right? Networking is collecting, where collaboration is co-creating. So make sure that you're moving into co-creation, not just networking. I've also seen this happen where people attend a conference as a networking opportunity to meet all of these different people and to hear what they're doing, but not really collaborate with them or co-create with them. So some great ways to collaborate and to co-create are through masterminds, think tanks, cross-industry brainstorming. These are really good ways to co-create. One of my favorite things is to be part of a mastermind that is a true mastermind. Mastermind is one of those words that just annoys me right now because it's slapped as a label on everything. But a true mastermind allows you as a group to identify your top challenges and to vote on let's say the 3 most important ones that have come up from participants in the room. And then you break into groups and you mastermind around that problem or opportunity. And you share ideas and ways that maybe you're doing it that are getting you through that, or you create some options for people. And then every table or every group gets up and presents their ideas and tells you how they've done it. So you get the best idea from all these different groups. To me, that is the most amazing way to co-create, because you're working together as a large group, then you're working together as a small group, and then you're sharing again as a larger group. So you're taking in amazing ideas and opportunities. So when I look at mastermind partners or mastermind events that I'm attending, I make sure it's the true mastermind and not just somebody at the front of the room talking. That is not a mastermind. You want to make sure also that networking can be paired with co-creating. They don't have to be separate from each other. So you can network and co-create. So it's more than just meeting people, getting their card or their contact information and putting them in your database. It's spending time. I always say every networking event that I go to or that my clients go to, I have them write out 5 questions about what's most important to them or what their biggest obstacles or objections are, and asking people how they dealt with it. That way, when you're standing in line for the bathroom, you're standing in line for a coffee, you're standing in line for lunch, or you're sitting next to people in an auditorium and you're talking to your neighbors, you can network and co-create. There's a way to do both. At the end of the day, deeper relationships will help in co-creation than superficial. And so one of the concepts about less over more is to have fewer surface relationships and deeper partnerships. And that can be done through networking and co-creating, not networking or co-creating. Number 7 is, really just create your collaborative rhythm. Challenge listeners, challenge anybody who will listen to you into being a collaboration partner. Give them permission to challenge you. Sometimes you have to let people know that you're open to receive feedback. You're open to receive new ideas, new ways of doing things. So anytime I'm talking to someone and they're listening to me and I want to learn from them, I want to collaborate with them, I want to extract as much great information as I can for them, I make sure that listener knows I'm open to feedback, that will openly share what I do, no shame around it, and ask them to give me critical feedback. That's really, really important. So again, you can do that by creating your own circle. You can reconnect with some people that are really good challengers. You might not have been in a spot of being challenged in the past, but now, given what we've talked about today, you are, and you want to reconnect with that person because there are people who are brilliant at picking and challenging you and stretching you. Yes, usually it's a coach. However, there are people in your network that can do that. Just remember, you need to be intentional and purposeful about collaboration, or you just slide into the Lone Ranger, the lone leader. It's just easier for me to do it on my own. and you miss so many opportunities for growth. I walked away from this coaching retreat with pages of ideas, new, and also with ways to enhance what I'm currently doing. Because the intention of collaboration is not to stop doing what you're doing to do something else. It's to enhance what you're doing. Maybe it is to add some additional things that you haven't considered, but the goal is to always figure out how you can enhance what you're doing. I can't put a price tag on what I was part of this weekend. And if you haven't pushed yourself into a place of collaboration and community, you're missing out. You really are, because a lot of times without that collaboration, we get stuck in the I'll just do more, I'll just do more, I'll just do more. And we end up doing the wrong more because we don't have anybody who's collaborating us to say, hey, I think what you're doing is great. What if you did this with it? And that can change the trajectory of your results. So my call to action for you is to be intentional and schedule collaboration opportunities every week. If you've got a one-on-one coach, that's amazing. That's a collaboration opportunity. I'm going to challenge you to create an opportunity where you're talking to at least 4 people, not just a one-on-one with a coach. In addition to, start sharing great ideas with each other and collaborate. Find your group, right? Go back to building your circle of growth. Build it. Find people that are committed as you are to collaboration and community and make them part of your world. And you'll know if they're willing to commit to a standing weekly meeting with you. If they're not, they're truly not ready for collaboration or community. They're still operating out of the I can do it all myself. So my challenge to you is to do a check-in with how much collaboration time you're doing with small groups of people. And if you're not, to bring it back into your schedule. To also schedule, part of my growth plan is to attend different conferences throughout the year. I'm going to another one at the end of the month. Yes, I'm going to be presenting, but I'm also looking at the agenda and finding times where I can be in rooms of greatness, where I can collaborate and learn, where I can be the receiver. And I can also share with people what I'm doing or give them some suggestions or advice. But I'm intentional about scheduling my interaction and creating large opportunity for collaboration. So number 1, redefine leadership. It's just not about the I'll do it all. It's just me. It's easier if I just do it. That's a myth, right? That is, you need to collaborate. There's other people to turn to. And it's a myth that you got to do it on your own. When you collaborate, you multiply. So just collaborating with another human multiplies your results. Collaborating with more than one multiplies it even more. Now that there's a cost of isolation, if you choose not to collaborate or be part of a community, you're really putting yourself at risk, and you're at risk of burnout, frustration, and quitting because you have nobody there with you to refill you when you need it. One of the most important things from today I want you to walk away with is building your circle of growth. You must have one. You must. It's so important. I am personally going to recreate that for myself. I'm part of a lot of groups, but I want to be intentional and pick 4 or 5 people that I can collaborate with weekly. That, to me, is one of the best things that you can do from whatever we've talked about today. Think about networking and co-creating. You can do both. Don't just be a networker where you're just exchanging information and adding names to the database. Turn that opportunity into co-creating and collaboration. Your call to action is to take this and bring it to life. Bring it to life in your schedule. As always, if you've got a question about this or anything else, I am truly just a phone call or an email away. You can reach me at tony@rethinkcoaching.com. That's my email address, tony@rethinkcoaching.com. That comes to my private email. I will answer you. It is not one of my admin or somebody else answering my emails. It comes to me, and I will offer a 1-hour strategy session to you for free where we can talk about this or anything else. You can also find me on all the socials and direct message me there. You know what they are, easy to find. I'm going to invite you to think about the power of collaboration and community. I think as leaders, we operate at a really high level and we're high drivers, and we don't often pause enough to acknowledge the power of collaboration and community. Thanks for being here, team. We'll see you next week.
If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.